On today's episode of Boating Basics, I'm going to talk to you about AC versus DC on the electrical panel. Could be quite shocking. So today we're going to talk about the AC-DC system aboard our boat. Now, one thing to keep in mind on this whole series of Boating Basics is that I'm referring to things that are systems that are existing on our boat. Our boat is a 1998 model year Sea Ray 330 Sundancer, otherwise known as an express cruiser. That's the style of the boat. This is our third season with the boat, and we love it and have become quite familiar with all these systems because our prior number of boats have had similar systems. So I'm just going to share with you what we've learned along the way, and hopefully you'll pick something up that's going to be useful for you. But right now we're going to talk about the electrical system on the boat. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to take a closer look at the main panel on this boat. Now, different manufacturers will have different style of panels, but they will all do the same thing pretty much, depending on the options that you have equipped on your boat. Now, this boat is split up, or sorry, the panel on this boat is split up to the AC side, which is here on the top, and the DC side on the bottom. Now, the difference between AC and DC: AC stands for alternating current, which is just shore power, basically the same power that you would have in your house. This is 120 volt system, so it'll run 110 to 120 volts depending on the input, but that's all good. So everything that runs on 120 volts on this boat is serviced by this panel, which is on this one. Again, it's the air conditioning, microwave, the AC converter, which is the battery charger for the batteries on the boat, the water heater, refrigerator, the outlet, which are the plugs, and then the stove. The stove I generally leave left off when we're not using it because it is sitting right here in the galley, and we have our coffee maker on there and little doily things. So I don't want anybody to ever accidentally turn that on and potentially cause a fire, so I leave that one shut off. So again, everything on the AC side of the equation, the alternating current, the 110 volt, your basic house type electricity, is on one side. Now, this boat is divided up into two main circuits. They're both 30 amp. That's a main 30 there and a main 30 there. The reason that they did that was if you have everything on and all the loads running, a single 30 amp breaker might trip, because if you have the hot water heater and the stove running, which are both in around 1500 watts, plus the air conditioner, and then the microwave kicks in, and then somebody plugs in a hair dryer, for example, on one of the outlets, that could easily trip one breaker. So Sea Ray just broke it up into two separate ones. We have what is called a splitter cord on this boat, two outlets on the outside of the boat coming into a splitter, and then to one cable that has just one plug attached to shore, and it works for us. We've never tripped any of these breakers, so that works well. Now, if on our last boat, for example, we had two air conditioners, that was a definite must that they be split up into the two separate 30 amp circuits. So we had two shore power cables that we had to hook up all the time. Now, down to the DC side of the equation, which DC stands for direct current, and this is everything that is running off of battery power in the boat. So, example, this is your cabin lights. If I shut that off, you'll notice it'll go dim. See that? So the lights, the stereo, the freshwater pump, which is just the pump that you use. The freshwater pump is used to run the water on the boat. That's battery powered again. Refrigerator, I'll get back to that in a second. The head system, which is the pump for the toilet. Macerator, which is not hooked up in this boat ever. So that just does nothing. It's just a dead circuit. The power vents, which are the exhaust fans on the boat, which we never use. Accessory for whatever extra thing you might plumb into it, that is just dead in the water. That does nothing also. And then the port and starboard ignition, which is actually to start the engines on the boat. Again, they are supplied by battery power to get the juices flowing and get the boat running. So that's why they're on the DC side. Here you have a voltage meter, and so one is for the starboard ignition set of batteries, which are basically the starter batteries, and then the port side, which are the house batteries, and you just do that to check the voltage on there. And then the amperage will go up when something is running. So for example, I'm going to turn on the water, so that means the water pump will turn on, so that means the amperage draw should increase. See that just jump up there? Because the pump is running now. Shutting it off, pump is dead. So the same thing would happen if, you know, stereo, if all the lights were going or whatever, your amperage draw is going to go up, of course, as well. Bilge blowers also are running from the DC side, as well as all the gauges on the helm of the boat are all running from battery power, not shore power. So getting back to the fridges real quick, you'll see one is labeled refrigerator, which is on, and another one is labeled refrigerator was on. So what does that mean? What that means is AC shore power. When you're hooked up to shore power, the fridge inside the cabin here, which is thusly here, will run from shore power. As soon as we disconnect from shore power, as long as that switch is on, the fridge will switch over to running from the batteries. So that is a convenient feature. We have another fridge out in the cockpit, and it's the same situation, but the switches are located right at the fridge. So by default, it'll run off of shore power, which is going to be a lot more efficient because you're not going to drain the batteries. But as soon as you disconnect from shore power or turn the switches off, which is basically disconnecting from shore power, it will kick in and run off the batteries. So this is why on a boat you can be somewhat self-sufficient with electricity, because all your little favorite toys like the toilet and the water and your fridge and so on and so forth can run just exclusively off of battery power. Okay, another day we'll talk about what to do to charge the batteries when you're away from shore power, but that is giving you a basic quick rundown of the AC DC panel and how the systems are separated. So again, hopefully you found that useful and informative to a certain degree. And if you want to see a little bit more in the series, please look down in the description, because I've created a playlist. So all these little boaters basics will be in one playlist. There's also in the description for all my videos, please read the description, because there are links to a playlist all about this boat. I got well over 100 videos just on this 330 Sundancer, our old boat, cruising the Trent Severn Waterway, cruising the Georgian Bay, and my How I Did It boat repair and upgrade playlist, and whatever else I have up there. As I speak right now, I have well over 800 videos. 95% of those have only something to do with boating. So hopefully you check it out, maybe subscribe, and follow the links and see what you find. That's it for now for Boating Basics episode whatever it is, from aboard Boogaboo, and a nice air-conditioned Boogaboo on a beautiful summer day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll subscribe so you don't miss any of the new boating videos coming out. So again, thanks for following along, thanks for subscribing, thanks for supporting the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.